Hi, welcome to Crisco's Corner. Proud to live in the greatest country in the world. Unfiltered opinions, no PC discussion here. Agree, disagree, hate it, love it, it's all good. Sit back and enjoy some unfiltered commentary. We discuss politics, culture, interviews, and more. Your comments are always welcome. Please help the channel by hitting that subscribe button. Doesn't cost a thing. And as always, thanks for your support. Hi folks, welcome back. Georgia's Secretary of State's office investigating early departure of Atlanta ballot monitors. We want to make sure we're not misled, said a spokesman from the Department of Voter Education Division. Now, I saw the entire video. I'm going to leave a link in the description from the Georgia Senate chambers. You see it here. It's a little bit long where I'd show the whole thing. In essence, what happened was after everybody was chased away, all the people monitoring, all the press, 3 or 4 individuals, I think it was 4, pulled out a bunch of suitcases from underneath the table and started processing ballots with no one else there after they told everybody to go home and they weren't going to process any ballots anymore. Ooh. And they got it on video. Now, here's the question. How many other places this happened at? And that's the problem. You're not going to know. Anyway, they estimate the size of the suitcases could hold over 20,000 ballots. They say it's enough to overturn the result of the election. Let's read on from Just the News. The Georgia Secretary of State's office is investigating whether or not a group of ballot monitors in Atlanta were misled by leaving their post early during ballot counting on election night. During a Georgia State Senate hearing on Thursday, President Trump's legal team revealed security footage from Atlanta's State Farm Arena depicting a ballot counting that occurred there late into election night and early in the next morning. The footage of Trump legal team alleged depicted poll monitors being dismissed from their posts late at night, after which ballot counting appears to resume with workers appearing to pull ballots from suitcases on the table. Well, it's exactly what it is. And went on for several hours. My understanding, she said that each machine could roughly count 3,000 an hour, and there were at least 3, if not 4 machines going from about midnight to 3 o'clock in the morning. If you remember all those big dumps that happened late at night, nobody could figure out where the votes came from. Walter Jones, a spokesman for the Georgia Secretary of State's Voter Education Division, confirmed to Just the News that the Secretary of State office was aware that Fulton County scanning had continued during the period captured in the video presented at the Senate hearing. We have launched an investigation into why the monitors from the political parties left before scanning ended. Well, a witness who was a lawyer, you'll see in the link in the from the video, that testified the fact that they were all told to leave, that counting was over. While it was their right to leave early, we want to make certain they were not misled into thinking scanning had stopped for the night when it had not. Well, they were. They were told to go home. Several affidavits were signed under threat of perjury. A spokesman for the Secretary of State's office further information on the ongoings apparently depicted on the footage. One of the things that is mischaracterized about the video was that they said, well, these suitcases were pulled from under the table. A spokesman said, well, we had record voter turnout, and those ballots had to be put somewhere so people could walk around. Yeah, horse shit. Because if you look at that table was put there at 8:22 in the morning, is it normal to hide ballots under a table with a tablecloth on it? No. Sorry, it's not. And those ballots should have been out in plain sight. So it was no mystery continued, but we were actually secured containers that were used in a lot of jurisdictions in transporting ballots. Our folks, officials, they knew they were under that piece of furniture. It was not pulled out of the dark when nobody was looking. Well, nobody was looking. There was no monitors, no Republicans in there. All the press was told to leave. Place was cleared out. Yeah, no one was looking. Regina Waller, a spokesman of Fulton County, told Just the News that county officials saw these videos for the first time yesterday when they were shown during the hearing. The claims made yesterday were debunked by Georgia Secretary of State office, she said. Their monitor can be clearly seen in the videos, and an investigator also has reviewed the matter. Waller did not respond when asked to clarify what aspect of the video she was referring to that she had purportedly been debunked. Yeah, imagine that. Waller also pointed just to news to remarks made by Fulton County Elections Director Rick Barron during a County Board of Registration elections meeting on Friday. The staff at State Farm that evening, they began letting certain people go. No announcement was ever made to leave for anyone else. Well, sworn testimony says otherwise. Why did the press all leave? I mean, if I understand from the testimony, Fox News was the last press to leave, and they waited till they were all gone. Just a coincidence? Again? Barron said during the meeting, certain staff were told we were cutting on the cutting stations, that they were on the flatting stations, which were extracting from inner envelopes, so staff left work as soon as completed. Horse shit again. Even if they were Republicans that said this in the county, they're trying to cover their own behinds. Nobody wants to look stupid. Barron in the meeting said he had found out sometime, I think, a little after 10:30, that they were going to cease operations. And I told them not to do that. He said media were present in the room until shortly after 11 p.m. The spokesman of the Secretary of State's office was asked not to be named, said further that Secretary of State Brand Raffensperger recently announced that the state has 250 investigations ongoing into voter fraud allegations. They're probably just single ones. When asking anyone that has credible first-hand evidence to bring to us, he said, we want to know. Raffensperger has no tolerance for election fraud. Now, will all the 250 investigations turn to convictions, he concluded? Probably not. I suspect some of them may be misunderstandings. It's not entirely necessarily fraud. Every lead we pursued, we still haven't seen any evidence of widespread fraud. As we go with that term again, it's in 1,000 different places, but it's not widespread because it's not all done by the same people. That's the beauty of this. He said, adding that the Secretary of State's office presently does not believe that the video footage is a smoking gun that some people think it might be. Well, maybe it might not. But why are they covering their behinds? Debunk this and debunk that. The Trump campaign did not immediately return requests for comment on the responses to the video footage. Yeah, they want to stay out of it. They want to stay out of it. It looks awful bad. Here we go again. Well, there's no fraud. Prove it. We sent poll watchers from Philadelphia out of the room. They had to get a judge's court order to get back in. Then they put them 30, 40, 50 feet away. Try to look at something close by 50 foot away. And then the dozens and dozens and dozens of sworn testimony. When I say sworn under penalty of perjury. You can go to jail if you lie. Why would all these dozens of people do all these irregularities and oddities and inconsistencies? None of the numbers match. None of the numbers match. They did the same thing in Philly. And then when the poll watchers got another court order to come back, they were told no, against a judge's order. They had to look behind the glass because COVID. Well, no problem with all the people counting the ballots around each other. Just the Republicans they were watching. They put cardboard in the windows so they couldn't see. If they weren't guilty, they sure as hell were acting like they were. There is no way the numbers match. No way. I forgot the number offhand, but Joe Biden had 300 and something counties less than Barack Obama in 2012. Almost double the counties that Joe Biden had. But yet Joe Biden ends up pulling out more votes than Barack Obama. I mean, give me a break. Give me a break. There's something wrong here. And these irregularities are piling up and piling up and piling up. Like I believe Iowa, Ohio, and another state are 3 bellwether states. You win those 3, you win the presidency. It has happened every time since 1852, which is 8 years before the Civil War, except for one exception. That was Richard Nixon. And we all know, it's common knowledge, that there was a lot of chicanery going on in Chicago for John Kennedy to win Illinois to put him over the top. Yet nobody went to jail, but everybody knows there was fraud. What's the difference? Everybody knows. Well, they call that a well-known secret. This whole thing stinks. And it all is because, well, Donald Trump's a jerk and he's an ass and we hate his guts, so it's okay. No, it's not okay. This is our republic you're talking about. We look like a banana republic to the rest of the world. This is one of the things the United States stood out, a shining beacon of Yeah, there's always election fraud. A little bit here, a little bit there. You're going to get that because there's a lot of humans involved. Well, we stood out in the world as an example of free and fair elections. Now, hardly anybody believes it anymore. I believe 25-30% of Democrats believe something went on, and like 70% of Republicans believe something went on. That's a lot of people. And they're not all pieces of crap like they say, they're deplorables. They're decent, hardworking, normal Americans that don't want to believe it. And that's just the way it is. So we'll see what happens. I don't think it's going to overturn anything. But everybody knows it's going to be like the Kennedy in Chicago deal with dead people voting. It's going to be a very well-known secret. And there it is, folks. Till next time, goodbye and good luck.